Good day, listeners from around the world. This is James Jordan coming at you for another edition of the Wide World of Motorsports podcast, recorded for the week of March 28th, 2021, and simulcast on Radio Waterloo. Just hoping the stars align for us to go to the Toronto Honda Indy this summer so I can see Jimmy, the oldest, hopefully the oldest rookie of the year.
That would be crazy.
Yeah, it would be.
What is the oldest rookie of the year?
That's a good question. I don't know though. I don't know. But either way, Jimmy, he did release a schedule though, and he did confirm he's coming to Toronto for that, and he's doing a good chunk of races. It's going to be lots of IndyCar watching next season or this season.
Yeah.
It's already this season. It's already coming up.
Yeah, April. Yeah, today's March 31st. So, yeah, I think 2 weeks. I think is when IndyCar is done or starts. Sorry, I think 2 weeks done. Yeah, and I think their first round's at Barber, so that's cool. But I do hope we get to somewhere. Yeah. I always just want to go somewhere. I don't care anymore.
Yeah, at that point, I would take anything that's relatively close. For any racing series, even if I'll suck it up and watch anything at that point, even if it's just some local stuff. Nothing like even if, because obviously the Pinty series is going to happen regardless, even if they're going to be fans or media or not.
Yeah.
But yeah, on that note, though, of the Pinty Series, congratulations to the Wide World of Motorsports alumnus Trayton Lapsevich on his new full-time ride in the NASCAR Pinty Series. And he'll be racing with 22 Racing full-time in the 2021 season with the support of RGC and Quick. So I'm sure they're super excited to get started with that, and props to Trayton, and as well as White Motorsports. Exciting news from them, adding to their lineup for 2021, welcoming TJ Renomato and Mark Dilley, joining Donald Teege and JF LeBerge for that season. So that'll be good. Seeing those guys get rides as well is good. Yeah,
I'm looking forward to the series this year. I really hope we get to go watch them and
talk to some drivers. And,
yeah,
maybe meet up with some of the fans and stuff. It'd be real cool to get out there this season. Fingers crossed. Although, as we're recording, the day we're recording, it's not looking good.
No,
but we'll see what happens. It's not looking good. But either way, so it has been a couple weeks since we recorded, and obviously Sebring happened, and there was the races at Atlanta, NASCAR, all three series. Kyle Busch in the truck series, he dominated a bunch of young guys for his 60th truck win, and in his 15th Xfinity win, Justin Allgaier wins at Atlanta Motor Speedway, and then young Ryan Blaney gets his fifth Cup win. Once the tires fell off the number 5 of Kyle Larson, Ryan took advantage and scored the win. It was coming down to, for me personally, my two favorite drivers. So that was real cool to see YRB get himself virtually locked into the chase, and with a bunch of different drivers already this season who's been different winners, and real cool to see that. Obviously, Ryan, he didn't have the greatest season last season, so him getting to win early is good.
Yeah, getting locked into the chase early is good. Relieves the stress a little bit for the rest of the season, right? Not that you don't stop working or stop trying as hard or stop anything, but there's just that added extra relief of, okay, so now we can really focus and win more races and do really good. And I think this is the earliest he's ever been locked into the chase too.
Yeah, and to continue on with all the obviously with this past weekend, we saw a different winner again, and we could have seen a couple different winners. We'll get to that. There's another thing I saw that was really cool. NASCAR is set to run a Chicago street course for the iRacing, for their iRacing Invitationals. And that's actually an interesting thing because NASCAR are actually working with a couple different groups that will help on an actual real-life street course. So there is a layout that they have worked on that they're going to try out on iRacing, and they're going to see how it works for real life. I think that's crazy talk, in my opinion. But
I think it's awesome.
I think it's awesome too. Yeah, it's crazy though. It's like a fantasy track. They're making it do a real track.
Yeah, iRacing is become a tool for series, I think, and I think maybe over everything that's been going on in the world lately, the last year and a bit, maybe that's helped with it. But it seems like NASCAR is using iRacing to work on it. There's big money now in the NASCAR iRacing Coca-Cola series or whatever that is. There's big money behind that now, right? So it's cool to see, and I guess they're going to see if it works. I think NASCAR should have go to a road course or like a street course like that for sure. I mean, that'd be so cool.
And the backdrop looks so cool. I would recommend people look it up.
Yeah.
And there's a video of it on their Facebook and Twitter page about there was a hot lap, and it looks pretty. It seems simple, but it looks. There's some turns where it's like you can't even see what's past it. You're just going into a turn high speed, and you got to go balls out in some turns. I noticed. So I would recommend checking out that video, and we're going to keep an eye out. That's going to be in a couple months, but once that obviously we have our own little we have our toes dipped into iRacing, the world of iRacing, and obviously I'll probably talk about content I'll get suckered into. That's something no questions asked that I'll be getting. And speaking of that, we raced with Felipe Nasser this following week. It was at like Lime Rock or something like that, and we were running with them and a bunch of his boys. And we were running in a pack with them. A couple of guys, me and you. Running the Legend cars. We were running with some guys from the Mayhem Racing League, and that was really cool. And on that note, it was a big week anyway with the iRacing Pro Invitational at Bristol. Willie B winning his 4th iRacing Pro Invitational on the dirt, and them getting a little idea what it would be like in real life just before they actually went to the last great Coliseum. And there was a lot going on to that weekend. There's a lot of, with the weather going closer into the weekend, there's a lot of questions on the weather, and there's a lot of what ifs, and once they and you have an interesting story on how you saw some of the first laps of those heat races, but that was like what, like that. I think that was it was crappy timing, because that was like, wow, this is the first time we're seeing these guys race in a big, larger group, not just practice, but these guys. Right. And then it did not go so well.
No, they barely got halfway around the track, and it was brutal. I mean, I noticed they were scraping windshields with ice scrapers to get the muck off, and then at one point, one of the announcers had like almost a bowling ball size of clay or whatever that had come out from one of the wheel wells.
Right.
The truck.
Yeah,
So,
that was crazy. Yeah. And,
I know.
And just off that, there was a lot of talk like, wow, was this a good idea? Was this something that was well thought out, or there was a lot of like, well, at least NASCAR tried. They did make an attempt at doing something different. They, at least they gave it a shot. But for me, I think that it was definitely, I feel like, a gimmick. I would call it. It's a gimmick race, and I would have to agree with the King, Richard Petty, on saying that it's just like as if like maybe a major league sports team would end up going back to like the high school field or like the community field or something like that. Mm-hmm. Even though Yes, that we saw that in the truck series, and that was real cool because that's a lower tier series. But is that something we would expect out of the Cup series? And I thought that they were kind of going a little lower. They're going under the bar there.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I thought it was really interesting to watch the Cup cars on dirt. I don't feel it was a gimmick, and there's something about it that just throws in something else to look forward to in this season. The dirt changes things, and you see different drivers rise to the top with it, but then people say, well, that's an old technology, that's why we have asphalt. Like, asphalt's the evolution, why are we going back to dirt? I think people gave the weather to, like, they're like, oh, well, they tried, or it didn't turn out that way and that well and all this stuff because of the weather. And it's just like, well, if it was just the regular spring race, it still would have rained and we still would have been in the same position. So I don't know. I thought it was cool. I thought it was so cool to watch them go around. I would have really liked to see them do their qualifying.
Right, and with the truck series, we did see that there was a couple of cool things going into play there. Obviously, with Stuart Friesen and his wife trying to qualify in and be like the second couple or whatever to have a race in the same NASCAR sanctioned race. But so that was there was a lot of people that were sent home because of the rain delays, which was unfortunate to see. But Jessica Friesen, if I'm not mistaken, she will be teaming up with her husband at Knoxville, and that I'm really looking forward to the trucks going to Knoxville because that's more of a traditional dirt track, and that'll be something nice to see. And it's as much as I think it sucks that I don't know why they didn't make a deal to get Eldora another back on the schedule, but I guess the deal for that didn't fall or it fell through ultimately. But it'll be cool to see them race on a traditional track. But with Bristol, there's a lot of good takeaways. So we saw Canadian Raphael Lessard. He finished third, and that was really cool for us Canucks. That was cool to see. He was really happy for that. It was his first podium appearance of the season. He's only just 19 years old, out of Quebec, La Belle de Provence. And he did win his first career race last year, and that's really cool to see. And then also Stuart Friesen of Niagara Lake, Ontario, was 12th. He actually didn't really have a great weekend. You'd think, and then there's a lot of talk about the fact that there's a lot of dirt ringers that they weren't really showing up. There's a lot of guys that never raced on dirt before that were showing up, and which there was a real interesting mix this weekend, and with Martin Truex Jr., who won the race.
I know.
This was his first truck race in 15 years. He didn't win
the race. He dominated that race.
Oh, yeah. He owned that race. And it was his first time racing in the trucks in 15 years. And so I'm pretty sure...
He's an asphalt guy.
Right. Oh, yeah.
He's traditionally an asphalt guy.
Right. I'm pretty sure he's a mods guy as well. So
okay.
He was just getting extra laps on dirt. And that was easy for him. He was racing for Kyle Busch Motorsports, and it was pretty easy for him. And obviously with the fans on hand, their tickets were honored. One day you got tickets for the truck race, you can stay for the Cup race. Vice versa, if you got tickets for the Cup race, you get yourself a little extra race, you get yourself the truck race, which is pretty sweet. It was noble for the fans. No, I just choked. No, I'm so excited, Michael. Not only that, unfortunately though, some of the people, there was a lot of flooding in the area, and there's people that they weren't able to get in or out. So they're going to honor those tickets for another the company that owns Speedway Motorsports or whatever. Whoever, they're going to honor it for any race of the season, which is really cool for them. So
that's good.
But yeah,
they got outlaws there this weekend. So
for
watch on YouTube.
Oh, nice. And not only that, this week, just side note, the Cleus McFarlane he's having a race on TV. We're gonna have a recap of that when we are in the next episode. But going back to the Bristol here, so Truex, he ran one Truck Series race in both 2005 and 2006, almost no dirt experience. So he led 150 laps, getting his first Truck Series win, which is pretty cool for him. But with all the talk, maybe he would transfer over into the Cup. There was a lot of picks on him, and he was looking good at certain parts of that race. But good old Logano, I think they're calling him the Dirt Devil now. Hey Wallace, the Dirt Devil, Joey Logano, you like that? Joey the Dirt Devil.
I don't know. I don't have. I don't like it. I don't know why I don't like it. I don't know why they're calling him that, but whatever. He won one race on dirt in the Cup Series. Hardly worth the title.
Dirt Devil. I'm gonna start calling him the Dirt Devil.
Well, Truex dominated the truck race, and nobody gave him a nickname.
Poor Truex. He gets the crap in his stick.
Yeah.
But leading the final 61 laps with Denny Hamlin obviously coming up there, and he won. It was rain delayed into Monday. He won it, and it was the first dirt. Maybe that's why they're calling him the Dirt Devil, because it was the first dirt track race since 1970. So, but obviously we'll see. He won't be the only, because we'll be seeing them return to the dirt in 2022. And Logano grabbed the lead from Suarez on lap 193. Yeah. Suarez,
that's a run by him,
a guy who just like 4 days before was his first time on dirt, so that was cool to see.
Yeah, for sure.
He held it, man. He held it down the rest of the way, all the way through to a caution in the second stage break and a late yellow that sent the race 3 laps beyond the distance, the advertised distance. So in the final restart on lap 252, Logano pulled away, and Hamlin tried and failed to get up to him, get past him, but he fell up to third place. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., who did have some more dirt experience, but winning, just winning over just by a car length or so over Stenhouse. Logano is the 7th consecutive different winner in 7 races this season. And good for Logano, I guess. A lot of people aren't happy. He had a fun time with his sword on social media.
Yeah,
he had a fun time with that. So
yeah, good for him.
Good, yeah. You know what? You gotta let the lower feeders have some fun. You gotta let them win once in a while, right?
Yeah, I guess.
The lower feeders.
He's a champ.
Right, yeah, and there was all the experienced guys, and like Larson and Bell. They didn't have a very good. They didn't have a good time.
Yeah, not only did they not do well on the track that they should have done well, they got wrecked together.
It was pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
Oh, as soon as I saw that, I was, because I had my money on Larson. I really thought he was going to excel there. But maybe the guys that were really good on dirt, or have a dirt background, didn't do well here because it's so different. Like, dirt cars aren't as heavy as the Cup cars. They're quite different. They're They don't run windshields. They don't run. There's a lot of differences to how the Cup cars were. So.
Well, there were some other things that played effect too. Maybe some things that they can fix for next year. We saw how dusty it got later on in the race, and me and my buddy were yelling on the. We were like, "Why aren't they watering down the track just a little bit more?" And I remember even hearing on some in-car audio, Kyle Larson was like, "Why aren't they watering it lower some more?" There was a lot of questions on that, and going into next year, it'll be interesting to see. Maybe they could run the race at nighttime. There was obviously drawing moisture from out of the track. Things like the sun is why we saw a lot of the dust getting kicked up and a lot of chewed up tires. Maybe and even though moving it to the summer, you'd think, it's warmer, but regardless of that, you're maybe avoiding some more of the issues of rain and whatnot. And
well, I think they might have solved the problem for that. If you go listen, again, here I am plugging another podcast, but if you go listen to the Dale Jr. download and listen to Marcus Smith talk, he talks about putting a roof on Bristol.
Well, they should. That's cool. They might as well, eh? So that is possible. Why not? We'll see what's going to happen with the next gen car, because next year they'll have the next gen car, and they're obviously with there's some different things with that car, and still with it being you're dealing with a 3,000-pound stock car and tearing up the racing surface. So if there's a way they can maybe make a version of the next gen car, maybe to you don't have to make it like a late model or anything like that, but you can, not only that, maybe importing some different kind of dirt. There's more traditional kind of dirt, like Midwestern kind of, or Pennsylvania dirt, where there's more traditional, where that's considered more of the traditional or excellent kind of surface. Or ultimately, Goodyear bringing in a different tire, and got to give props to Goodyear anyway, trying to figure that out. But with the cords, they were showing cords, the tires were blistering. The drivers were saying they was done after 3 laps. So Goodyear probably, hopefully, possibly bringing something different for 2022. And not only that, we were seeing them. They're holding a test session on a dampened Martinsville Speedway, even though the weather seems to be looking good on April 1. And this ain't this ain't an April Fool's joke. I've made sure this is happening. So they're going to do a test. Number 5, Kyle Larson. Number 17, Chris Buescher. They'll be the participants of this experimentation.
I want to know how we've talked about this, and we need to dig, or maybe one of our listeners can comment and let us know. But how do they pick who's going to do the testing?
Yeah,
right. Like you have Kyle Larson and then Chris Buescher. Well, that's a pretty random. Well, one's a Chevy, one's a Ford.
I think that's what they'd. Yeah, and then from each team throughout the season. So it's probably just by random, or maybe they do give it to the good guys. Maybe it is good they're giving it to a good guy like Larson and a random guy like Chris Buescher. Yeah,
maybe. I mean, there's a whole reason why
I'll
they
trust
do it.
Larson.
I'm just curious.
And it's interesting because the number 5, 1995, during a rain delay that was during practice, actually they said, "Hey, Terry Labonte, go throw out some laps with some of these rain tires." So it's interesting. The 5 will be returning to Martinsville with some rain tires, so that'll be really cool to see.
Really? That's really cool. Like was it on an oval?
Yeah, it was at Martinsville. There was a practice. It was rained out. It was delayed, so they said, "Terry, go test this."
Why Terry? I wonder why Terry.
Well, he was one of the best drivers at that time in 1995.
Oh, I guess he was a champ in 95, wasn't he?
So, yep.
Yeah. So that's interesting. How do you feel about rain tires on an oval?
I'm excited to see the footage. I think it should work out. I mean, they honestly need to understand not to push it like 100% into every turn, because they're gonna obviously have to pussyfoot it. But racing's not about always driving 110%. Sometimes you gotta half throttle it, or maybe maybe they'll break loose a lot, just half throttling it. We'll see.
I don't know. So this is my thought on it. Is it really and truly going to improve the racing? Like, are we really going to be happy that they race in the rain on an oval instead of having to wait and having a bunch of tore-up race cars?
So to reiterate here...
I don't think it's going to improve the
So
race.
it's not during the rain. So it's during conditions. So it's damp conditions. So if the track is where they could race it, where they don't have to sit around for an hour to dry it, then they'll do it. Not during the rain. They have no intention on racing it during the rain. They just want to test it during time where they could avoid doing track drying processes, just to get back to racing sooner under wet weather conditions. And at the flatter short ovals, Martinsville, Richmond, and New Hampshire. And if you think about it, those tracks, you're going slow in the turns. So if you obviously spin out, you could probably save it pretty good. You got Martinsville and New Hampshire. You got a lot of space. So it's not like they're testing this at Michigan or something like that, or Charlotte, right?
No, of course.
So that obviously works. And hey, you know what? Maybe it works, and they can bring it into some other shorter tracks and other series, and we'll see guys racing on the damp track. They're gonna wet in the track at Martinsville. It's not gonna. It's sunny. It's gonna be sunny. So.
Well, it's funny though to think about it, and they're testing on these shorter tracks, what wet weather tires are like, and saying how they're not going to race in the pouring rain. When they do the Daytona 24-hour, now I know it's not the whole oval, and part of it they're just getting onto the throttle coming through it, but those cars race around the oval in the rain and don't have a problem. So, I think it would be easier to run at a faster speedway like Talladega or Daytona in the rain than it would be at like Martinsville or even something like Michigan, because they run different lines. Although the banking, like you and I talked about it before, really, the banking will just shed the water.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So, like in road racing, one of the hardest parts to deal with, and I've watched a race get canceled or rain shortened because it was raining so hard that it was like starting to river across the road, across the racetrack in multiple spots, and it's the puddling that really screws you up. So if you're on a banking, at least you can shed the water pretty quickly.
Well, and on TV, it doesn't look like Martinsville and Richmond and New Hampshire have banking. So there is slight banking, right? So maybe that is even good enough, because you see it in even people's backyards or whatever. Maybe they'll have, crap slanted a certain way or whatever. Or maybe when you go camping, you're going to want to be on a hill if you're in a tent. You don't want to be on a flat surface. I'm guessing. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just a terrible outdoorsman or something like that. You want to be on a surface where the water's going to go down, right? On a slant, like it's probably not nice to sleep on. going into a side talk there, but no. But so it won't be crazy. We'll see though the clips. We'll see how damp it is, and then we'll go from there. But I don't think it's going to be like they're going to be like it's crazy like wet. I don't think it's going to be like they want to race in rain conditions. And they said if it goes good, they might be able to do it as early as Richmond in a couple weeks. Like if it's like if all goes well tomorrow and thumbs up from everyone, if it were to be a damp condition at Richmond in 2 weeks, they're going to run these tires.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so
I'll give it to NASCAR because they keep doing it. They're doing the things that we would have considered like crazy, like let's see NASCAR run on dirt. Oh, they'll never do that, and here they are running on dirt.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, they should make rain tires for their ovals. Well, that's stupid. Why would they ever make rain tires for the ovals? And here they are trying out rain tires for the oval. So it's interesting to see this shift in NASCAR.
Yeah, and they're definitely trying to be innovative, and even in the presser there, Steve O'Donnell, the sports chief racing development officer, he said that himself, that they're just trying to just be creative, and they're just trying to. Obviously fans just want to get back to racing in those wet weather conditions, and there's a lot of, it's like NASCAR fans, some of them want NASCAR to like control the weather, or they think they're controlling the weather. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's like, maybe that'll help answer that, and we'll see what happens. And I would like to, we should ask the listeners to give us their feedback on that. I think it's an interesting topic, and it came out of nowhere. I think that was a cool announcement, and now we're on to another new thing here. So a lot of new stuff happening in the last year or so in NASCAR, and just another new thing here. So wonder what people are thinking about that, and what we think.
Do you think COVID has played a role in NASCAR trying new things? Do you think COVID has allowed the series to try things that maybe they wouldn't have tried if everything was, quote unquote normal?
Well, with the new gen, they're planning on that anyway, and they're probably gonna adjust things. They were in talks about that anyways.
Okay.
Right, they were always talking about adding schedule changes and more short tracks, more this, more that, less this, less that. And I feel like they were in that. I think that just was coincidental. I think they were in that phase anyways. As much as COVID probably gave them some extra room, I'm sure it did.
Yeah.
But I feel like they were already on that track. There's a lot to indicate towards that.
I was just curious hearing your thoughts, because I thought, well, what a convenient time to try out all the crazy stuff that's been brought up at the board, like in every meeting, and everyone says that's crazy.
Yeah.
And then they're like, well,
that's crazy.
We could try it now, and if it doesn't work, we could say, well, it was, it didn't work because of COVID, so they could save face. But anyways, I'm just being a bit of a conspiracy theory.
Maybe you are. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right.
Maybe I am right.
We'll see. And for this edition, we're running out of time, Wallace. We're wrapping it up here. So
it's all good.
Check us all on the social medias. The Soch.
Remember when I told all my drivers, reach up there and pull those belts tight one more time? Drivers, start your engines!
Welcome to the Mayhem Racing League podcast, recorded for the week of March 28th, 2021. And we're here in the pits with some of the guys in the league. We got David Guarino, Michael Wallace, Seth French, David Ankenbauer, Charlie Hamilton, a couple other guys in there if I haven't mentioned you, sorry. We just got out of a couple of races tonight, and they were some rough ones, boys.
Yes, that's our go-to drink after the real races.
I do think the bottle was upside down.
Didn't think there was anything left of the bottle, to be fair.
Yeah, after that, I sat in the pits for that race and just
Guarino and the Fireball.
Yeah, we need some more of that.
I still think you need to run a Target paint scheme at some point.
Like the old school Jimmy Spencer?
No, just a big Target where everyone knows to hit you.
Oh, like it. Okay, yeah. If you literally, I was in Photoshop before the race, and I'm not you. I was debating on it, and I just was like, I was too lazy, so I didn't do it. But yeah, I was thinking about that.
Can confirm that paint scheme is on my list for ARCA this season.
Yeah, you always got good paint schemes. You always pull out a classic or something like that.
You'll like this week.
My biggest thing was we ran 60 laps caution free in the ARCAs that are looser than on the best of days, and we just can't even make one lap.
So what's coming up for the ARCAs though? Because I know there's gonna be. Is there not a road course coming up in that? I thought we were racing Roval soon.
We run the Roval this week.
Right. Okay. Right. So
yeah.
I knew I saw it. It's going to be good. That is going to be good. I feel like they'll handle a lot better, in my opinion. I like the ARCAs. Maybe I feel more comfortable in the ARCAs.
I really like it as well.
I like the race and I hate the car.
Jordan, are you dropping your R's?
Yeah, I love
R's. My garage car. My car. That's how we talk up here. We kind of have a weird accent.
No, I think you were leaving your R's off like I do down here.
Down
in
here.
Boston, packing the car.
Pack the car.
Fitting a patty hat.
That was pretty good tonight. I had fun. Those Kias, though, that was interesting. Eggleston and I were trying to figure out some strategy. And Eggleston, how much time was left when you ended up having to finally come down and get some gas? Some tires.
2.5 laps.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like a minute and a half, 2 minutes.
That's pretty damn close. That's pretty.
Had I thought about it a little bit sooner, I might have been able to pull it off, but I didn't think of it fast enough.
Man, that was good.
I did a splash and go for only 3 gallons.
Yeah, you didn't need much at that
And I
point.
didn't take tires.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't? Okay, because
No.
I hit the wall, but you guys were hunting me down, though, and that was interesting strategy, though, for sure. It was one of the most interesting strategy calls maybe in any race so far in the Mayhem Racing League.
Well, the way I saw it was I was already running 7th, so the worst that would happen is I would run 7th or 8th like I was probably going to anyway, so it didn't really hurt.
Yeah, it's worth a shot.
Yeah, that was really fun. I got to ride the coattails of.
Oh yeah, you were up there on the finish there. That was you guys were almost bumper to bumper, basically, with Langton and Seth and Charlie were up there.
Yeah, I was hoping Sean and Seth were going to bump each other and make an opening for me.
I was watching the helicopter cam of that, and I was also, I even kind of saw where he could have done it. I saw the moment where he could have maybe gave him a little jab. But I'm sure that would have been a complicated situation. So it was good calling Seth, just racing it out.
Yeah, I was definitely cheering in my car with my microphone off. Do it, do it, do it! But the hole never opened, and 3rd is the best finish I've ever had in a
really
in a regular season race.
Really, props to you, Charlie.
Oh man, good job!
Damn.
Yeah, that's good. Good job, man.
Hey, so we've seen last week, David Guarino and Eggleston, they won races, their first ever races in the Mayhem Racing League.
2nd, thank you.
Sorry? I thought you said at the time it was your first. I thought. Oh.
No. I won our Daytona 500 event earlier this year, and then I won last week in the Kia.
Oh, just in that series. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, I gotcha. So yeah,
Well,
nice.
It'd be great to series like that.
Yeah, it was good though. That was good. To see just some different guys up there getting their first evers in some way or another, whether it be in the series or in the league. You always see, even both you and Guarino, you always see you guys kind of getting the crappier end of the stick a lot. And
always.
Always. You kind of always consider you guys having bad
magnet.
luck. You guys get some bad luck following you, but not that night. The clouds weren't over you then.
Dave is a magnet.
I know.
What one did you win at again?
That's like the ARCA race. So I forget who it was, 63, whoever it was. We get on the green flag, and he doesn't go. So I start
36.
10th, and he's
39.
behind him, and he won't get out of the way, and everybody's freight training my ass down the inside. So finally we get to turn 3, and everybody goes by me, except for Manzo, I think, was behind me. I finally just start to turn left, and the car spins because I don't have any heat in the tires because I'm not going fast enough. Then I tried to save it, clobbered him. I'm like, use the fast repair. Come back out and start on the tail again and running up, past 3 or 4 guys, run this guy down. 3 laps in a row, have a big old run on him, and he blocks me. Finally, coming up out of 3, I pass him around up the outside, and he gets scared, cuts to the inside, hits the guy inside of him, and turns that dude up into me and clobbers me. I'm like, son of a...
That's kind of why I like it.
I like a track that I can control my fate a little bit. That's why I like, something like Michigan. I like that you have to fight your tire wear and the car wanting to not go through the corner.
That was an interesting race too. But I was obviously running the line pretty damn good. And it was funny because before the race, I was telling whoever was in the channel here, like, this ain't going to be good, whatever. Driving going back to that driving around like a grandpa technique, which I feel's been kind of helping me lately. But yeah, I know the other guys aren't here to be able to talk about that. But still though, that was I really liked that Michigan, and I never thought I'd be good in the ARCAs at Michigan, but I never thought I'd be a Michigan guy to begin with. But at the end of the day, that's definitely a good track in any series we've raced. That seems to be a good track.
And a lot of those mile and a halfs are the same way because you want to get that lap time. But after you got 15 laps on your tires, you have to get it balanced. And, if you just drive in there, you just make it worse and worse and worse. So I'm willing to give up a quarter second, 10th of a second, quarter second, going in that corner, letting off early and roll it in because I'm back in the gas then before I get to the apex. So I make that back stretch, 200 yards, 300 yards longer because I got in gas earlier. But in order to do that, you got to let the car rotate, and the only way to do that's back corner up. So I give up a tenth and a half or 2/10 getting in the corner, and everybody goes driving inside. Well, then I come off the corner like gangbusters, and then the dude in the 63 car, I'd get this big old run. I'm 15 mile an hour faster than him coming off the corner. He pulls down in front of me, and I'm eating the brakes trying to keep from wrecking us both, but sometimes they're just not used to, hey, you having that big run. But in order to get that run, you got to get the car turned early. And the only way you do that is by backing the corner up.
What we needed to do, we need to get Guarino to get on that Suez Canal container ship and get him to help them move that thing out of the way.
No, all I did was post a meme. It was the ship thing. It was John Candy. It was like, canal's closed. Moose out front should have told you.
That's funny.
Well, that ship has sailed.
Yeah, there we go.
But
I'm sure there'll be lots of those coming out.
I was like, oh, Captain Hazelwood must have a new job. And then all my friends all got it, but my kids all had to go Google Captain Hazelwood because they didn't.
Yeah, who's Captain Hazelwood?
Yeah, who's Captain Hazelwood? Oh, is that Buddy from? The Exxon Valdez.
There you go. You just.
Oh,
That's Googled it. Yeah, it is Googled. I should have known.
yeah, that was the little.
That's a great joke, and nobody gets it because it was 30 years ago, right? Damn it, young pups.
Yeah,
True.
that was a little bit.
What year was that?
1989.
I was 9.
I was 3 years old. Give me a break.
I wasn't even born. I
was-
wasn't even alive.
I was stoned that year.
Awesome. That's the best answer right there.
That's funny.
So coming up though, we got coming up just like boom, it's spring, guys, and it's not an April Fool's joke, folks. The Hendricks Home Improvement Grassroots Tour returns. What is this? The third season now, Seth?
Season 3.
Season 3. What is this now? Yeah, Season 3. Starting nice and new and fresh, taking us all the way till the summertime almost. So it'll be taking care of us for the spring. Look forward to that. It's going off the same point system as the ARCAs.
Yeah, we were on the same points. That new point system seems to be working pretty well, so we'll keep that around and run it. The schedule's all been entered in. Last 2 races of the season will be double points.
Thompson and Bristol. Will be
Thompson and
double
Bristol.
points. 80
Yep.
laps at Thompson, 100 laps at Bristol.
Yeah, some of the races are a little bit longer than what we're used to. Just trying to.
Good.
Yeah,
And
and there's
All-Star race as well.
correct
There's,
all-star races in there with a mixed week. There's two or three road tracks made it. I can't remember off the top of my head here, but they will be timed races instead of laps, 35 minutes. And then the midpoint before the All-Star breaks, a long race. That's 120 laps at Charlotte on the Oval, which is a long street stock race.
Good Lord.
It's going to be it's going to have a lot of strategy in that one.
Gonna have
I
to
like
start figuring
strategy.
it out. Better start figuring it out now. It won't be till
Oh, I
May,
think-
but
Watkins Glen and Lime Rock are the road tracks in there.
Oh, that'll be fun.
And week number 4 is going to be dirt street stocks at USA in honor. I was thinking about changing that to Bristol, maybe in honor of the NASCAR driving there. I think we'll have a little better time than they had. So USA could be up in the air to change on week 4 to Bristol, but it will be a dirt race with the dirt street stock.
You want to just give yourself the points for that now, or
I'll start in the back. That even was my idea. I felt bad putting it in there, but that was Jordan's idea to run it in honor of NASCAR style. So
Nah, that's a good idea.
I would love to see the Bristol dirt race.
yeah, we might do it as Bristol. I'm probably going to be a limited driver in that series with Thursday nights. A little bit tough for me. It's going to be Thursday nights at 8. I'll probably make maybe half to. I forget what's our 12 races. I'll probably make maybe 8 or so.
And I think considering maybe we didn't get a chance to do too many recruitment races for it, but if anyone is still interested, it'd be a perfect series if you want to just join the Mayhem Racing League. I would totally recommend that as a series to get started, even throughout the season. I don't expect much in the championship standings. I'm not really focused on the points so much in that series, but to be able to race with some new faces and have some of us older guys, or some of us OGs of the league, kind of keep an eye on some of the new guys or whatever. I think that'd be really cool. So I would encourage even the noobs to even join, and don't be worried about not winning a championship.
I'll definitely hop in and run it, have fun.
Even though there is going to be a prize, there will be a prize handed out for the winner, and it'll be some good stuff. So there's still going to be some worth racing in that series. Going to start off with Concord though. It'll be good. That's always a goodie.
Yep, Concord is race 1. Yep. Dave likes that one.
I do.
It's a good. I really like the street stocks. I like that they're robust and you can bump and bang a little bit, and you can't. The cars can take a little bit of hard life and keep going.
Yeah. Although has the damage model affected them? I haven't really raced them enough in the last couple of weeks to know if the new damage model made them more.
Seems fine. It's good.
Yeah, race the same. It's just you'll it's much better visually.
Yeah.
I like the Mazdas. It's a small upgrade. Wheel will come off, things like that.
And for some people who have, they have a local short track, you do often see some series that are like that. And I've always thought that was cool, that Joe Blow could be running in a series with you. And I really like that vibe, that we can kind of almost emulate that virtually.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's mostly free series. It's got 2 tracks on there, paid Watkins Glen and Bristol, which ends the season, which are 2 tracks that we use throughout the other series in the league.
And those are common tracks. So, and I do believe you can race those on the AI, and they are throughout the season in the official series. So there's a lot of worth in buying a couple of those. They're probably like number 1 and number 2, aside from Dega. Those are probably the most popular tracks you can get. So lots of worth in that, even just aside from having it in the league. So looking forward to that.
Yep. No, just real quick. That series is Concord, Legacy Charlotte, Southern National, USA Dirt, which may become Bristol, Legacy Lime Rock, Charlotte Motor Speedway Oval, Legacy Daytona, which is a 60-lap Daytona. Be fun. Watkins Glen, Legacy Phoenix, Oxford Plains, and then the 2 double race double points are Thompson and Bristol. Yeah,
and Bristol's another one of those that, I mean, if you want to practice, somebody's always hosting something at Bristol. And it doesn't matter if it's an ARCA car, or truck, or a fixing your car. The groove is the groove, and you still drive it the same damn way. It doesn't matter what car you're in. That, to me anyway, my braking points and all that kind of stuff don't really move from ARCA car to street stock to, cup car at Bristol. The entry's a little different, but 90% of that track stays the same regardless of what car I'm driving.
That's good to know, because the Kalamazoo Rocket is really fast there.
What else do we got coming up? There's been some talk about from Wallace about a potential late model summer series coming up.
Yeah, let him talk on that summer series. Throw it out. Throw it away, Wallace.
Up here, Wallace.
I just been talking with Seth about a late model series. I really enjoy late models myself. I love watching them, and do enjoy driving them in the game. And one of the podcasts we talked, somebody had mentioned a summer series or something like that, and it just gave me the idea of trying to bring back this quote unquote Saturday night short track racing. So it's going to be a 1-track series. We're going to do like I said, late models. We're going to do open setup, and we're going to do, depending on how many cars we get, of course, I'd like to do a heat, 2 heats, and then a feature, like a 30 or 35 lap feature. No tires and no fast repairs, but caution laps don't count, so you can head into the pits, get your car fixed if you need to, and get back out on the track. To me, it's very reminiscent of that short track Saturday night racing. The no tires is lots of guys used to show up and not put tires on the car, put one tire on the car. At least in this instance, you get fresh set of tires at every race. And we talked about before on the previous podcast about no fast repairs. And I thought, okay, well, let's try it here, but not make it a big penalty if you get damaged. And that's why I thought about doing the caution laps not counting. So the biggest question is just when we're going to run it. And that's hard, right? Because we got lots going on.
Not Fridays.
Yeah, I think what's going to happen. Sorry, I think what's going to happen is some of the seasons will be ending. Mazda, Kia will have some openings.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, I'm not foreshadowing or predicting the future. Don't take us as like gospel or anything, but I really do believe once guys run that late model, that's probably going to wind up replacing that ARCA series. Guys are going to like it that much.
Huh.
It's a fun car to drive, compared to the ARCA. It's a way easier car to drive for sure.
But the late model, not super late, right?
The late model, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's a smaller motor. It will take away from some of the road tracks. It's still capable of running some road courses, but compared to the ARC, it'll be a lot less road if we do it.
Yeah, and if it does, for instance, replace the ARCA series, then it would be a traveling or quote unquote traveling series. I would assume where we race at different tracks. But I just thought, I miss going to the racetrack on Saturday nights, and where we are right now, especially with COVID, that's not an option. And I just kind of want to relive that and rebuild it, and have a track champion. I think it's going to be a Wide World of Motorsports. Jordan and I have been talking about it. Series presented by us, but obviously run by
sanctioned by the Mayhem Racing League.
Yeah, exactly. And we're going to put up. I haven't fully figured it out, but I'd like to put up some prizes like I did for our All-Star race. But I kind of want to figure it out to make it so people don't get discouraged, right? So we might have, the champion, of course, is going to get something, but then we might do a, biggest improver award or something that makes it worth everyone's while, because the worst thing that could happen is that somebody comes in and just dominates Dave, and
I don't think that is the case.
No, but just
Can't
give
prove otherwise. Thank you.
give a bigger incentive to showing up every week and racing.
Yeah, do a hard charger. Do like whoever gains the most.
Yeah.
Sure,
Oh,
something like that. Yeah.
I like that
And
one.
even if you're screwed in qualifying, you're good to go.
I like the sense of that one. Starting from the back, work your way up to the front. Okay. Yes, please.
Yeah. And so, anyways, that's kind of where
it was
we're
going
at.
to be over. So it would be like it would be like a summer special. So you were thinking it was going to be a few weeks. It wouldn't be like a crazy 12-week schedule.
Six races, I think we talked, right? Whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, 6.
Something like that, yeah. Like between 6 and 8 races, just something to fill the gap in the summer. That's why trying to pick a time to run it is going to be difficult. I've thought Monday nights, and then maybe piggyback it off the back of street stocks. Too many nights, it's hard for everyone to get to everything. Like Seth, you had mentioned Thursday nights would be hard for you, and it's hard to pick a schedule, especially if it's not, people aren't racing for a living. This isn't their job. So,
yeah. Well, and one thing, I don't know how you do it. So, like, we have like a slot car series that we race 3 or 4 tracks, and we race once a month. And we used to, the series was like 9 weeks, from, the end of summer through the winter to the spring,
right.
But you'd get guys that would miss a race or two because of work or whatever. They were like, oh, well, screw it, I'm done. So we started, it was 10 weeks, drop your worst 2. So I don't know if there's a way to do that, or other than just do it in Excel to keep the points or whatever, which is because I keep points for that league. But that helps people, because then if they have a bad week or they miss a week because of work or whatever, they're like, oh, well, there's no use. Now you still have an out. Now, granted, most of them guys not going to win it anyway, but mentally, it's I get a do-over on that one.
Very good point.
Yeah, you can set it up that way. Like ARCA now is it only counts your top 17 out of 18, and Mazda's 11 out of 12. So you can do it. It only counts your top whatever amount of races.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
We also been doing provisional as well.
Weekends, of freedom there, because not every. I mean, I'd love to race every time I could. That's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
Especially in the summer, someone might be out on vacation or whatever.
Well, and that's why I just wanted to. I don't want to do it on the weekend. I just think a weekend series is just not going to work. I toyed with Monday night, thinking about it. Realistically, we just need to put up a poll and see what works for everybody.
I would personally love an actual Saturday night, but one can dream.
If it was winter, I think it would be easier.
From November to March, I think you'd be okay with a Saturday night. But from then on, you're going to have a hard time.
Yeah, I think it would be fun to take. We got the Mazda ending soon, the Kia ending soon. If you take that Tuesday night race, which seems to be the best night overall, and if for the summer you sprinkle in some fun runs with the Mazdas and you sprinkle in the series that you're talking about with the late models and try to get more people involved, and when we get back around the fall, then we could kick off another season 4 of the Miatas and the Kias season 2, and maybe we'll have a lot more guys that are going to come into that.
Yeah, for sure, and open to ideas for the series, because I would like to make it a good, successful series. And like Seth said, I think once you get guys that are running in run the late model and experience it, they might. I think they'll enjoy it.
Yeah, it'd be cool to do some recruitment hosted races and maybe get a feel out for that and see where we're at. Maybe get back to us, and we'll probably discuss that on a future episode of the Mayhem Racing League podcast. For anyone who is listening who is not yet in the Mayhem Racing League, I would recommend you check us out on Facebook at the Mayhem Racing League, where you can check out some of the past episodes of the Mayhem Racing League podcast, as well as how you can join the league. I'm really excited to be able to help to bring the Season 3 of the Hendricks Home Improvement Street Stocks Grassroots to, of course, presented by the Wide World of Motorsports podcast, so please feel free to join Season 3. Thanks to Seth, Charlie, David Ankenbauer, David Guarino, and Michael Wallace. See you down the road, folks.
Hi, this is Alex Tagliani, NASCAR Pinty Series driver. You're tuned in from the track to the community on Wide World of Motorsports, the #1 motorsport show in the community. Sports show in the community. Sports show in the community. Sports show in the community.